Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here from the Lair. And today's kind of a quick one. I got up this morning and learned that there was a big mass shooting in Vegas. They're still, pulling the strings out of the rat nest to figure out what the hell went on. When I got home from work today, I reviewed some of the video footage, documenting the shooting when it started and everything. And there's a couple factors you need to know here. Number one, that was a big concert, and I'm pretty sure the hotels in the general area were pretty much sold out. So he had a room that overlooked the whole event. So that basically is letting me know that this was pre-planned. It's not something he came up with he didn't pull it out of his ass, is what I'm trying to say. The initial reports I've been able to read, he had about 10 firearms in the room, and apparently they tossed his house, found 18 more firearms, explosives, and a shitload of ammo. That in itself, the explosives are a definite no-go. But when I went back and listened to the initial attack when it first started, you can count it out for yourself. It's between 12 and 14 seconds. So basically, he ran through an entire 200-round belt. And from the rate of fire, I just did the math and backwards planned it out. He was firing some type of 5.56. You can tell from the sounds of the initial gunfire, the crack of the 5.56 as it passes you is not as deep as AK-47 or a lot of the other 30 caliber rounds, and then they don't fire it that fucking fast. The 249 squad automatic machine gun is a fast fucking weapon, especially when you turn it up all the way. It'll go fast. He did not have any tracer rounds. At least I didn't see any. And the range he was engaging at was somewhere between 300 and 500 meters, which is basically the prime range for a 5.56. When it gets to that range, the bullet is pretty much stabilized. He's going hypersonic, and another telltale, sign of this is the dead to wounded ratio. For what I saw, it was 59 killed, 527 injured. That's very indicative of a 5.56 round, especially the SSG 109 armor-piercing rounds. They just have a tendency to whip right through you, and they're not nearly as fatal as a 30 caliber or some of the other bigger machine gun rounds out there. Again, this is plunging fire. He's firing down from above onto the crowd, and because he's firing down, he really wasn't penalized by range anyway. So from that arc shooting down is pretty much the equivalent of 100 or 200 meters. Now, when I was watching this, you can hear the shooting. It went on almost through the entire time. They didn't really stop playing the music until basically after he was done firing. And nobody really knew what was going on. People got down, which if you're being shot at from, a horizontal position, which is good, you get under the fire. But when he's at an elevated platform firing down on you, that's absolutely, it's not going to do you any good. This country's been at war now for 15 years or so. You figure there's a lot of veterans out there in the crowd that knew exactly what the fuck was going on. And when somebody runs through 200 rounds of ammunition, best case in point is to get up and run your fucking ass off. Now, I wasn't there. I don't know what I would do. Well, I know what I would do. I'd run my fucking ass off. But it was just, the whole thing is just fucked up. And another thing I want to mention on the tail end of this particular subject is it did not take nothing but a hot second for the Democrats to get on board and do their little Twitter storm about gun control.
Gun control now! Enough already! Grow the fuck up! The average person doesn't need a fucking machine gun! Enough already! Enough! Enough!
And they're bandwagon, they want to, disarm everyone so they can control you more than they already do. That being said, There's a couple other tweets out there that went down that basically said they didn't have any sympathy for the white people out there getting shot because they're all Trump supporters. That is fucked up. And that's just further proof that the media out there is trying to drive a bigger wedge between the two sides that happen to be the American culture of today. I also heard a couple news clips that, he had converted to Islam and ISIS took, credit for it. This is a 60-some-odd-year-old white dude. 60-year-old white dudes don't drop it, don't convert to Islam or do anything major like that. I mean, you're already looking down, the barrel of death anyway after 50. And you figure you stick with what you know, switching to something new like that is highly unlikely. With that being said, this is basically just an act of true fucking evil. It just as easily could have been done with a truck riding through the crowd or Molotov cocktails, explosive bombs, what have you. And this particular individual, I think he had, 2 or 3 speeding tickets, clean record. There was no indicators to basically predict this was going to happen. But I bet you if you dig into his recent past, going back 1 to 2 years, there's probably something out there that threw him over the edge. What that is, we don't know yet, and I don't want to speculate. But all in all, the whole thing's just a big fucking shitstorm.
It sounds like it's confirmed there are at least 2 shooters with fully automatic weapons.
My prayers are going out for the wounded and the families of the afflicted people who were killed. It's just totally tragic and useless. I just don't have any other words for it other than that. Somebody also asked me my opinion on this West Point individual who had a Che Guevara t-shirt on and a message in his hat that stated communism is going to win. I've seen some stupid shit in 30 some odd years, but that is some of the stupidest shit I have ever seen. And to have your picture taken and put it up on Facebook, are you out of your goddamn mind? Now, I read in the Army Times that the Army is actually doing an investigation on this. They're looking at professors and other influences in the school, West Point. And from somebody who's been on the receiving end of, an Army investigation, it is thorough, it's not pleasant, and it almost never, ever ends well for everyone involved. So that guy's pretty much fucked. Just saying, that's the truth. Anyway, this is my little quick reaction to a couple of questions you guys asked me. Keep them coming. I'll talk to you later. Out.